So, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is the sequel to Puss in Boots, which I believe came out like over a decade ago. It's another spin-off of the Shrek franchise. And this time around, Puss in Boots, once again voiced by Antonio Banderas, has used up almost all of his 9 lives except for one. So when he learns about this star that can grant any wish, he teams up with Salma Hayek's character from the last movie to try to find the star and make a wish to regain all of his 9 lives. So I'm going to be honest, this was not a movie I was looking forward to. I'm I'm a big fan of the first 2 Shrek movies. I haven't really been a big fan of any other movies. Even the Puss in Boots movie, which again came out a long time ago, I had never seen before until watching this movie, and I thought that movie was just okay. I didn't think it was anything horrible. I just didn't think it was anything that good either. So I saw the trailers and I heard it was just in development hell for so long, and I saw this movie, and honestly, I'm really glad that I went and saw this movie. This movie was fun, it was funny, I liked the themes, I like the characters, and honestly, I just think it's a better movie overall than the previous one. So what works? Well, the animation of this movie is really good. It kind of reminded me a lot of Spider-Verse, the way the animation was done. And I thought they try to mix different styles throughout the entire movie, and I thought that worked. And I thought the animation here was definitely a lot better than the previous movie. You're going to hear me say that a lot because I really just thought the first movie was just not that good. And the voice acting, I think, for the most part, is actually really good. Antonio Banderas is another good performance as Puss in Boots. I think this is his best performance since his debut in Shrek 2. Salma Hayek, I thought she did a really good job as well. Harvey Gillen, I'm mispronouncing his name, but I know he's on What We Do in the Shadows, and I love him on that show. I thought he was going to be really annoying at first. No, his character's really good. I thought he was really funny. I thought he fit in really well with the other 2 characters. He did a really good job. Florence Pugh is one of the main villains of this movie. Surprisingly, she did a really good job too. I thought this was like kind of a throwaway role. No, she was actually really good in the movie. There's a couple other performances. Wagner Moura is another villain in this movie. I thought he was really good. He was really creepy in the movie. His voice work was really well done. And the other voice actor who I thought really did a good job, his name is Kevin McCann. He voices a cricket in the movie. And I thought he did a really good job, surprisingly. Also, I really actually dug the themes in the movie. The movie has a lot of darker themes to it about, about life and like you're trying to make the best of it. And it does manage to balance out the darkness of these subjects with the lighter moments of this subject. And I think it does really work throughout the entire movie. And there were moments in this movie where I was just laughing constantly. I was surprised by how much I laughed at this movie. Yeah, I thought it was really funny, it was really sweet, and I thought it worked really well. Did I not like anything? Well, there's some actors in this movie who I feel like they're too good for their performances. First off, John Mulaney. I love John Mulaney. His character, it was hard to distinguish him from John Mulaney. Like, it's just his voice at this point. Maybe I just watched his specials too many times and I just now hear his voice, and every time I hear his voice, no matter what he tries to do, whether that's, Spider-Verse, Chippendale, it just sounds like John Mulaney to me. It just didn't work for me. His character had a few funny moments, but I just couldn't separate the actor from the role, unfortunately. Also, Olivia Colman is in this movie. Barely. Like, she voices kind of a sidekick to Florence Pugh's Goldilocks, and I thought she was wasted. Like, why would you bring on Olivia Colman for this movie and yet not really use her? It doesn't make sense. And also, there are way too many villains in this movie, I feel like. Normally, I feel like one villain is fine enough, maybe a side character villain as well. Like with Shrek 2, you had Fairy Godmother as the main villain, but you also had Prince Charming as a secondary villain. Here, there's like multiple villains, and it kind of distracts like who's the main villain in this movie. I won't spoil who it is, but it's just kind of annoying after a while, like trying to keep up with all these different villains. And also, admittedly, it kind of took me a while to get into it. Like, I didn't really like the style at first, and I kind of didn't like the jokes a lot, and I also really didn't like Puss in Boots at first because all he kind of just did in the first 10 minutes of the movie is just say he's Puss in Boots. And that was kind of annoying to me at first. And like, I heard it was getting really good reviews, and I'm like, okay, we're 10 minutes in, and I'm not really enjoying it yet. He's just kind of being a dick in this movie. And it's one of those movies that initially I didn't like, and then as it kind of went on, it got a lot better. So, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, I thought was actually really good. I'm really surprised by this. Probably the best Shrek movie since 2. And I never thought I would say that. The animation's great. The voice acting is really good. It's funny. The themes work out really well, and they manage to balance the darkness and the lightness of the subject matter. Even though I don't really care for some of the actors or the first 10 minutes or so of the movie, and also don't really care about the jokes overall. Um, no, it's the jokes I liked. It was just the fact there was too many villains in the movie. Um, I would still recommend this. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad I actually saw this. I'll give Puss in Boots: The Last Wish 3 out of 4 stars. See it. So, what's your favorite Shrek movie? Comment down below, subscribe to the channel. This is Pat. Stay safe.